Well, first I want to thank you for taking some time with me today. How's the weather? I heard you're in St. Lucia today.
I'm in San Lucia today. Yeah, this is the last day. We played yesterday. I took one extra day off to enjoy the sea and the
Oh, of course.
places.
Now
Yeah,
that's in I've never been to the Caribbean. That's in the Caribbean.
yeah, it's an island in the Caribbean. Yeah.
Okay, very good. But so you're going to get ready to start your first headlining tour here in the United States. Are you bringing a band with you, or are you just bringing your guitars?
No, no, I'm bringing a band. I always play with a trio, so guitar, bass, and drums.
Hmm.
And it will be the longest tour we've done so far, so it would be pretty special to us. I've been to the States quite a few times, but most of the times were for the NAMM show in LA. And we were able to do a couple of gigs around the LA area, but that wasn't really a proper tour, let's say. So this is the first big tour I'm doing in the States. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So have you ever been to Ohio before then, or no?
No, no, never been
No.
to Ohio and never been to a lot of the places I will visit. I've been to Nashville one time last year, New York, and LA. That's all I saw
Right.
about uh, America. And I've been actually to Orlando one time for the
Hmm.
Steve Vai Academy back on last year in January, and to Atlanta for a couple of days as well.
Oh, very good. Well, if you have some extra time, you should go to Cleveland and check out the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's a great museum if you get the chance. All your heroes and everybody that's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is there in Cleveland. You should check it out. It's really cool.
Great, I will try. I don't know if we'll have the time to
Right.
go around, but I will try to check it out, of course. Yeah.
All right. Very good. So I read that you first started playing guitar around the age of 12. What drew you to that instrument as opposed to something else like the piano or drums?
Well, I began to be interested in guitar thanks to my father because my father is also a guitar player. So the guitars were always at home. So it was kind of easy to me to start because there were a lot of guitars available. And I was born, luckily, in a very musical family. I have one older brother and one older sister, and they both play an instrument, and they are all interested in music. Even my mother is very interested, very passionate about music. And so I grew up in a musical family, and my father is an exceptional guitar player. So he was kind of my first guitar teacher. And I started playing when I was 10 years old. Now I'm 28, so it's quite a long time. And the journey was amazing. I mean, I had the chance to have very good teachers. I started studying classical guitar in high school, and then I did go to the conservatory in Palermo. So I had a really good musical experience so far, and I got lucky because every teacher I had was very well prepared, and I was always finding myself very good, even if sometimes I was not really a good student, especially for classical guitar. I consider myself primarily an electric player, and I wasn't really into classical world back when I started. And that's because I really choose electric guitar simply because you play more with the rhythm section. And that's not the case for classical guitar. You play a lot of times alone, just with your score. So that was one of the reasons why I play electric guitar most
Hmm.
of the time. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, do you play any other instruments besides guitar, or you just concentrate on that primarily?
I learned to play flute, traverse flute, when
Right.
I was at high school, and that was only because you need to be able to play two instruments in high school, at
Oh,
least in Italy, and that was fun. It was way easier to read with the flute rather than a guitar. Uh, um, but it was fun. I mean, I'm not playing the flute anymore. I don't have time to also studying the flute. But it was joyful. It was very good to play another instrument rather than just guitar.
sure. Absolutely. Now, do you like a band like Jethro Tull, who play the flute as well as Martin Barr is a great guitarist as well? Do you enjoy them?
Yeah, Jethro was my introduction, let's say, to the flute in a rock
Yeah,
context starting, you know.
sure.
Uh, yeah, but I love them. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, very good. Now your fingerstyle technique is very unique. How did you develop that? It seems like something that you've done kind of on your own accord.
Well, it's a mix of doing things on my own and extrapolating things from the classical world, let's say. So I started playing with fingers since the start, so I was never able to learn how to play with the pick simply because I didn't really like the feeling of having something in my hand.
Mm,
Um, so I began to play with this bass-like technique simply because it was the most comfortable way to play for me at the time. And one of the reasons was that I was always seeing my father playing classical guitar with fingers at home. And he can play also with the pick, of course, but he was playing a little bit of classical guitar back then. And I just thought that every guitar was meant to be played like that. I didn't know that you should use a pick for electric and fingers with classical. So I just kept playing with this kind of fingerstyle technique. Then I discovered about the pick, of course, but it was too late to restart again. I didn't want to relearn again some of the things. So I just kept playing with fingers because of that. And then, of course, I borrowed some things from the classical world. So I always say that I didn't invent this technique. I just borrowed some elements from classical world, bass technique, some little flamenco elements, I should say. But it's not something that I invented. It's rare to see this kind of technique on the electric guitar. That's true. But I'm not the only one, let's say. Yeah.
right, exactly. So, who were some of your musical influences growing up? What did you enjoy listening to as a youngster?
Well, I started as a rock and roll oriented player. So thanks to my father, that was more like a listening guide rather than
Mm,
a pure teacher, he was introducing me to a lot of classic rock stuff like AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple. And my first big guitar influence was Jimi Hendrix. And so I started out as a like typical rock and roll classic player. And then I discovered a lot of different music thanks to my friends and the musical high school, the conservatory, you know, I really listened to a lot of different stuff. And most of it was guitar oriented in the first years. Like I began to know a lot of people from the 80s, like Eddie Van Halen, Ingrid,
mm,
Paul Gilbert, these kind of guys. Of course, a lot of people from the, let's say, more fusion world, like Al Di Meola or John McLaughlin or Frank Gambale, Scott Anderson, a lot of players that I discovered through my journey. But I started out as a rock player, of course, and then I began interested to jazz when I was more into high school, maybe 16, 17 years old. Yeah.
okay. Who was the first artist you saw in concert, and how did that impact you? Now, being from a musical family, was it your father, or like what big name act did you see early on?
Well, I consider my father as a big name, so maybe the first concert I saw was my father playing.
Sure.
I, to be honest, I don't really remember
Okay.
the first concert I saw. But I should say that because my father was playing a lot on maybe local gigs and some of the stuff, the first musicians that I got exposed to were local musicians.
Mhm.
And so Palermo is not really a incredibly big city, so there aren't a lot of big concerts, let's say. There are quite a few, but every now and then it's not like you are in London or Rome. Um, but I think that most of my exposition of music in general came thanks to YouTube and internet in general.
Mm,
Like most of my music consumption came thanks to the internet. I came to know a lot of players, a lot of different music thanks to the fact that I had internet available. And that's a big part of my development, I should say. I mean, some things never change. Let's say that I discovered a lot of artists and people thanks to people that told me about some players. So there is still when you are in a musical environment, this kind of word-to-word, um, um, let's say, environment where you discover a lot of things thanks to the people that tell you to check out some new stuff. But a lot of this stuff I came to know thanks to the internet. So it was a really big part of my development compared to the live stuff.
Right. Okay, very good. So you are primarily play the electric guitar, as far as I can tell. Do you still play acoustic on occasion?
I play most classical guitar, let's say. I play some acoustic a little bit. I play a lot of gypsy jazz guitar in the later months because I got a gift from Joshua Stefan. Is an incredible German player, more than gypsy jazz, Django side. And I play this guitar really a lot at home. And I play some classical too. I really like to write songs with classical guitar.
Hmm.
But yeah, the guitar I play the most live is of course electric guitar. I always bring two guitars with me. Right now for my concerts, I have a Yamaha Pacifica. It's kind of a Strat with a whammy bar,
Mhm.
and a Yamaha Repstar with two humbucker guitars. So live most of the time, I always play electric.
Right. Okay, very good. Now, you kind of said a lot of your influences, and you kind of blend them seamlessly together, jazz, rock, some classical music as well. How do you do that without losing coherence? You kind of blend those all together. It's amazing. I love your music. I just, like, how did you come up with that?
Well, I didn't really. Uh, The honest answer is that I was always curious about learning some different styles. And with the years of learning many different stuff, it all come with let's say, one style that I developed during the years. And I think that helped me a lot, I think, is the fact that I play with fingers. You need to come up with some different, uh, let's say, a different way to play the same thing. I think that I was um, trying to work all the time is try to figure out a way to do, let's say, a lick or a solo with my fingerstyle technique, because of course I was copying a lot of stuff from big players, and that helped me a lot to achieve, let's say, a creative way to look at the guitar in my own way, and that helped me to, of course, achieve the style I have now.
Sure. Absolutely. Um, Is there someone that you are looking forward to collaborating with? I know that you've played with some people, I believe. I read that did you end up playing with Steve Vai at a concert
Yeah,
or?
I think, yeah, I played with Steve last year in Orlando,
Mhm.
in Florida. It was uh, thanks to the Steve Vai Academy. He organizes, I think, every year
Yes.
the Steve Vai Academy, and he invited me to do the 2024 one, and we played together on the last day, and it
Ah.
was wonderful. I mean, I before the Steve Vai Academy, I never heard Steve playing live, so it was
Mhm.
amazing, even like for a fan like myself.
Sure.
And playing with him was also spectacular as well. And yeah, and I played with a lot of incredible musicians during the last years. I had the chance to play with Al Di Meola also.
Hmm.
I think it was in July 2022 for a local festival in Italy. I played with Tommy Emmanuel a couple of days ago.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, we did. He invited me to this East camp in Rome and
Mhm.
played a lot of stuff together. It was really wonderful, and he's an incredible person as well.
Awesome. Is there someone that you would love to collaborate with or play with? If you could pick somebody out and be like, man, I'd like to play with that person.
Well, I would love to not necessarily collaborate. I mean, if they want to, that would be wonderful, of course, but just to see them live will be priceless. And Eric Johnson is one of my favorite players, one of my biggest influences.
Mm.
Steve Lukather is an incredible
Oh,
player. I got the chance to meet him last year for a Leslie West event, was dedicated to Leslie West.
Right.
And we didn't have the chance to play together, but I got the chance to see him live.
Mm,
And it was wonderful. And he's an incredible person as well. Steve Lukather, I mean, it's one of the best players in the world for sure.
yeah.
And I also, people that are not necessarily guitar players, I'm a big fan of Jacob Collier, for example. I think he's one of the geniuses of this century. And I would love to collaborate with him one time if there's the chance, of course.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, Lukather, well, I mean, he's played on so many hit songs that you don't even realize, the stuff from Boz Scaggs to, all kinds of stuff, the tubes and whatnot. But yeah. So you're going to be playing here in Kent at the Kent stage on June 1st. What can fans expect from your show?
Well, the show will be pretty much around centered on the first album.
Okay,
And so most of the songs will be extrapolated from the first one. But we have a couple of tributes that we do as well during the concert. I have a tribute to Jeff Beck, and I do a tribute to Alan Allsworth. Let's say that there are some tributes to my favorite guitar players during the concert. And I still don't know if we will add some new songs because I have some songs ready for the second album, but
good.
I still don't know if I will be able to play them live. And that's because a lot of people are doing a lot of videos right now at the concert, and I don't want to spoil anything that will be on the
True.
internet, you know? So I still undecided. I still don't know if I want to play new songs, simply because people record all the time, and that's fine to me. I mean, I record some videos too when I'm at the concert, but some people record the whole concert and they
Right.
upload it to YouTube, and that's one thing that I don't necessarily like. I'm okay to like record one or two songs or maybe some solos as well. It's like most of the people that are coming to my gigs are guitar players, so I get that they want to do some videos as well. But the whole concert is not really good to
Right.
me.
I agree with you. Absolutely. Yeah. A song or two, get the idea. But yeah, that's interesting that, I think some younger artists, and really, I think it started with comedians where they say it's a no cell phone policy because when they're trying out new material, kind of like the same thing. You want to play a new song, but yet you don't want it out there for, everyone to hear because you still might make some tweaks with it or whatever. Yeah, I agree. Very good.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Also because I don't want to spoil the songs. Like when it come out, there will be maybe some videos before the official video, and some people already listen to the songs on YouTube, and
Yeah.
that it's not gonna be good for the surprise
Sure.
factor.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to spoil it. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Well, I appreciate the time on your day off. Enjoy the weather there in St. Lucia. It's awesome. But I definitely will be at your show at the Kent Stage on June 1st. And I'll be photographing it as well. And I'm going to get the word out and we will pack the place. And hopefully we have a great audience for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
All right. You
Ciao.
too. Thank you so much. All right. Bye-bye.